treble time. Hello, my name is Ryan Ellis, and you just heard me play through the Range Lord made by Jext Telez, the greatest fuzz pedal company on earth. And this is not per se exactly a fuzz pedal, this is a treble booster as it's broadly known. And this is based off of the Dallas Rangemaster, which was a legendary pedal used by so many people that you respect or should respect if you haven't heard of them yet. This is a faithful recreation and improvement on the Dallas Rangemaster. It's a recreation because it's exact as the original, but an improvement because it has this three-way switch here. I'm sure it's got a lower noise floor. It's got nicer electronics where possible, updated from the original and otherwise original parts. And then also updated from the original, you've got this three-way switch here on the right, top right. Mid is on the top. You've got high in the middle. There's no word for high, but it's the only one missing. And then low. Oh, that is lower. Low, high, mid. And the original, I think, even though it's called a treble booster, I think technically it was a mid booster. You can tell me otherwise in the comments, but with this pedal, the Jext Telez Range Lord, not the Dallas Rangemaster, you get three different voicings, three different areas of the equalization chart to boost your signal, and also it uses that amazing, in this case, this is a blue tip black glass OC44 germanium transistor. There are different flavors for different Range Lords. There are different transistors and different Range Lords, and you can tell because the color, the outside of the pedal will be different, corresponding with different germanium transistors inside. I think they're all germanium, no silicon. This particular one, even if you might get the same one here, a blue tip black glass OC44, my particular copy of it, I was told by the builder, is lower gain. So there actually are higher gain blue tip black glass OC44 Range Lords out there. So if you get a Range Lord and it's the same germanium inside as the one that your friend has or the one that you hear on the internet, it might not sound exactly the same, your particular copy, when you get it home and play through it. So just keep that in mind. I do like that this is lower gain. It's very subtle and it has a nice smooth sound to it. It sings. It really turns whatever I'm playing through it beautiful on top of its existing beauty. Oh. I said this isn't exactly a fuzz pedal, but you can get fuzz. For instance, the heaviest fuzz of all, metal, heavy metal, as heavy as heavy metal itself, the founding band of heavy metal itself. You can sound just like Tony Iommi with this thing if you dial it in right. I had it on more of a introspective setting, I guess, today. Even though it's all the way up, I'm just going straight into this amazing Tascam DP24SD mixer here that I adore. I like this way more than a digital audio workstation. I'll take a mixer where I can just press buttons and push faders any day over digital. And the same thing goes with this. This is an analog pedal. There are no subscription models to this. You buy it, you own it, you can sell it. I'll never sell this as long as I live, as much as I can help it. that as we find ourselves in a K-shaped economy that is lacking a middle class, just upper class and lower class, there's one thing, whether rich or poor, anyone can agree on. If they're going out and they're going to buy something, if there's a minimum standard, it's that itself. Standards are quality, namely. The Dallas Rangemaster might be the very best of all, but if you can't get the Dallas Rangemaster, which I would get if I could myself, get yourself the Jext Telez Range Lord. It is at least as good as the original, if not better. You've got this three-way switch here. You can't argue with that. So again, even if I had an original Dallas Rangemaster, which I suppose I would take over this pedal because, I don't know, I would feel odd not to. Maybe in a blind test, this pedal might actually sound better than an original, and I welcome someone who happens to have both to try that test out themselves, and in fact send it to me, see if I pass the test, see if I can discern between the Rangemaster and the Range Lord, and if I like the Rangemaster or the Range Lord better than the other. You know, it's kind of funny. I just played a nice light tune, yet you can play something super heavy and dark with this. I named this ditty Leviathan Fishery. I was thumbing through my copy back here of Moby Dick, and I just found the words Leviathan and Fishery, so I combined the two because I thought, what an interesting concept. You think of a stocked pond with trout or something, and what about a stocked pond with Leviathan inside? Or what's the plural of Leviathans? You know, a very boisterous name for such a light-hearted little ditty I just played. You know, I had some heart and soul to it too. Herman Melville, the author of Moby Dick, infamously died before selling a significant quantity of his magnum opus, Moby Dick. In fact, within the first 2 weeks of Herman Melville publishing Moby Dick, he sold 40% of the copies that he would ever sell until the day he died. That is, he only sold 3,700 copies and sold about 1,500 within 11 days of publishing, and then died not too long after, and never got to see the fruits of his labor, or at least got to really enjoy the flowers for his labor. While that does happen to artists from time to time, you still must persevere and do your best. That's all we can do and all we should do. If you're going to get something, you have to get it anyways. You might as well get something with the best quality, and anything made by Jext Telez fits that bill, exceeds it. This is an example of that. Perfect build quality. As long as you don't daisy chain this, I think that's the one thing you shouldn't do with these vintage fuzzes, not just Jext Telez, but other ones included. I think if you daisy chain them, you can introduce an improper power load that might damage the pedal. But aside from that, this is essentially an heirloom product. I guess also if you don't throw it around, I don't think anyone who buys a Jext Telez pedal is just tossing it against the wall anytime soon, at least. So anytime ever, I should say. But this is a lovely pedal. I highly recommend it. I very much would love to try other Range Lords, especially since even with the same germanium, they might sound a little different one to the next. So I can only imagine with completely different germanium, they must sound completely different. This one in particular has a much nicer low end than other Range Lords, is what I've been told. That's why I like it. I love that bass, especially playing the bass. That's what I did. I used for my beginning part, I put it on the high setting, and then the nice melody that fills out the upper register part, I use the mid setting, and then I closed off the song playing the bass, and wouldn't you guess it, I used the low setting for the bass, and it worked out perfectly because I wanted just with one pedal to get 3 distinct different sounds that I could layer, and you could still pick them apart and enjoy them for themselves, but then they would blend well together. And you can do that with this pedal, the Range Lord, made by Jext Telez. Thank you very much for watching this video. Be the change you wish to see in the world and run for local elected office. And Christians, become your local Sunday school teacher. Do not just trust the process, become the process. I will pray for America. Please pray for me. Have a nice day. Au revoir.